Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hole in One Show podcast. I'm your host, Dave Schultz. We're going to take a little departure from our normal check-in on the Hole in One Show on this episode, and we are going to welcome in a couple guys who are working with me this summer at the Fargo Country Club. Now, as my role as a head golf professional at the FCC, I'm very fortunate to be able to be a part of a lot of kids in high school, their first job ever, college kids coming back, just looking to work for 2 months. Some of those who are wanting to get into the golf business, and somewhere at the FCC and working a golf course all summer just fits into their life plans. And we've got an opportunity tonight to talk to a professional hockey player and a professional golfer, and we're very fortunate at the Fargo Country Club that this does fit into their life plans this summer. So I'd like to welcome in Andy Carroll and Zach Sklebar. Fellas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
You got it. We've talked about this for the last few weeks, and it's member guest week at the FCC. It is a big week, not a lot of sleep, and a lot of caffeine, and we're getting ready to go big member guest Thursday through Saturday. But let's start with Andy. Andy, where are you from, and what brought you to Fargo?
Absolutely. Born and raised in Northfield, Minnesota. Grew up there, and now I am in Fargo. My girlfriend is currently the head of events at Rustic Oaks.
Plug. There's the plug.
And yeah, no free ads out here. So she's kind of taken over things there. Yeah. In the process of looking to purchase the property. It's a gorgeous property right down in South Moorhead, so it's an easy drive right up 29 or University to work. And it's been an awesome summer so far, and looking forward to a fun and less sleep than normal this week.
So I didn't. You're the hockey player. There's a golfer and a
Correct.
Hockey player. So your background in hockey, and you're still playing today. You're training every day. You just came from workouts. Share with everybody your background in hockey.
Yeah. So I'm born and raised in Northfield, Minnesota. Actually spent a little time in the Dakotas during my junior hockey experience. Played a year in Sioux Falls and a year in Aberdeen. My final year was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then played my collegiate hockey at Minnesota State Mankato. Had a great run there. Played in a national championship game, a few Frozen Fours, and then this past year was fortunate enough to be able to sign with the Vancouver Canucks organization.
Yeah, we were talking about, you were looking, you reached out, and I was like, this guy's great. 8 years of golf experience, hockey player, you're going to fit right in. And you're like, yeah, I should be there in mid-April, right after, we get done with hockey. And then he gets signed, and I don't see him till June.
Hey, come on, it was May 15th. But yes, it was one of those things where obviously I was very fortunate enough to obviously you reached out back, and we met at Beans Coffee, middle of February. It was 70 inches of snow up here, I think, and I was like, man, this good thing I'm here during the summer.
Yeah.
So that was a little change in plans, but something that I want to pursue, and obviously have a strong passion for both hockey and golf. So
you got signed by Vancouver Canucks, right?
Went to the American League or with the Abbotsford Canucks, our American League team.
Okay.
So spent the year there. And currently a free agent. So the agent and I are in contact a lot frequently, and we'll see where the next roads take us.
So you have shifts at the golf shop during the day, but for those out there wondering what a professional hockey player does for training, what do you do in the mornings? What do you do in the evenings? How do you structure your day?
Yeah, so I try and structure it. Around hockey. So I'm in the gym basically all summer, 5 to 6 days a week. The first half of summer, basically May and June, it's a lot of just letting the body recover. Obviously, it's a sport where it's demanding on your body every night and extremely hard to keep on weight. So those first month and a half off the season, it's a lot of time spent in the weight room, a lot of time spent cooking. But yeah, now is end of June, July's cooking up. I'm usually on the ice for sure 2, if not 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Just getting enough time early on in the summer where I'm keeping the rust off. But now it's obviously time to build some more skills and work on some things.
Well, we've got some video here. It's pure speed off the first tee at the FCC. That was a 3-wood. Driver's too much for you. Pure speed. What is your ball speed?
It's very high.
Very high.
I think we got it on the TrackMan a few weeks ago, and I think it was a 128 clubhead speed with 186 ball speed.
Can confirm.
So as long as it stays in the fairway.
That's incredible. Well, it goes a long way. Zach Sklebar, you've been at the Fargo Country Club for a number of years now. You're still playing professional golf. You're planning to go to Q School this fall. Why don't you share with everybody a little bit about yourself and what are you doing this summer getting ready for Q School?
Doing a lot this summer. I'm from North Fargo originally.
Spartans, go Spartans.
Yep, grew up, worked at a golf course now since a couple different ones since I was senior year of high school, which is a long ways away at this point. But
trust me, I know.
Not quite. No, I'm good, but play a lot of tournaments in the summer. Doing a little teaching, a little club fitting.
You're jack of all trades at the club.
Yeah, I kind of.
You float.
No, I
you
just
float, make plays, right? We call it you float and make plays.
I stand and look pretty.
Okay, all right.
That's what I bring to the table. Then tournament season's going to ramp up here, end of July, and kind of lead right into Q School there. So,
well, it's fun. You guys are working together, right? You play golf together, work out together, hang out together. So, what do you feed off of? You're both playing professional sports. You're both training always. That's got to be fun to be able to strike up a friendship here the last couple months.
The first time I met Zach was probably a couple days after I got back from Canada, and he goes, "Hey, you want to go over to the range?" And we went over, and I think both of us probably hit 13 golf balls because we spent more time getting to know each other, and building on, like, as two professionals, like the mentality that we approach every day with, and how it relates to hockey and how it relates to golf. Obviously, he's a professional golfer who also played hockey, and I'm a professional hockey player who, still plays golf and grew up playing, somewhat competitive golf. So I think that's kind of where we first hit it off, is just building off of that connection on, mental strength, how to get through different things, and learned a lot from him on the range.
Well, the kids have loved it. You guys are our PGA Junior League coaches. I mean, could you have handpicked a couple of better PGA Junior League coaches? We are so fortunate to have you. These kids have eaten it up. Talk about that a little bit and what the juniors are doing at the FCC. They're everywhere. Kids everywhere. And you guys have done a great job.
It's been great. Obviously.
Are we in the lead right now? I mean,
we are not.
Oh,
we're close though, right?
We're very close.
And we're bringing it home. Last
it home.
week is at the FCC Par 3. Okay, sorry. I won't interrupt anymore. Go ahead.
No, it's been great. I guess Andy and I's approach to everything we do is winning. So
try to, right?
It's been the big focus for us with the kids, and they've hopped on board. They love winning too. So we don't win every week, but that's our goal. And
well, so holistically, right? Talking about etiquette and good effort and good attitude. I mean, you touch on that with all the kids every day.
Yeah, I think control the controllables is what we try and approach these kids with, and even at a young age, to be able to learn the etiquette. I mean, every week since the first week, we've talked etiquette, we've talked attitude, we've talked effort, and last night it was super cool. We were out for our fourth match out at Oxbow, and all of our kids on the ninth green, without having to be reminded, took off their hats or visors.
That's cool.
And shook the other team's hand.
That's
and they
cool.
were the ones initiated. They were fixing ball marks, doing all that stuff. So I think, like Zach mentioned, sports are much more fun when you win.
Yeah.
But the learning process that these kids are taking and how to approach it as a process versus just a result is super cool.
That's really cool. You guys are a couple of guys that they look up to, and it's all great coaching, so nice job. Now, next segment, we're going to go to the next segment, and we are going to talk a little member guest. We're going to talk a little bit of Amy Olsen playing in the U.S. Open, 7 months pregnant, and maybe a little PGA Tour Live Golf. PGA Tour was in front of lawmakers today talking about the framework deal and the fact that they're trying to save the PGA Tour, and it seemed like the only way out was to strike a deal with Live Golf in the PIF. We'll be right back after this.
Any bank can tell you they have a rock-solid commitment to agriculture. Bell can prove it. To this day, every Bell Bank branch is partially built with rocks we've picked from our founder's farm. But our roots in ag have grown more than a few offices. They've shaped who we are and formed our entire approach to banking. Let us prove it to you as you grow your farm and prepare your legacy for the next generation. Bell Bank, committed to ag.
Golf to me is patience.
It's weird to say, but golf is life.
It is. It's the ultimate game of life.
You know, it's an individual sport.
You have to put in a lot of work to get minimally better. And that's kind of the beauty of it. You come back to improve.
That's why I love golf, is just every shot is different.
That next round, that next shot, you know, it could be that start of a story.
I don't even want to say a game. It's more than a game.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hole in One Show podcast. We're thrilled to be joined by Zach Sklebar and Andy Carroll, a couple of studs that are working with us here at the Fargo Country Club this summer. Got a big week this week. As many of you know who follow this podcast, played a member guest in Leland, Michigan a couple of weeks ago as a guest. It was a lot of fun, and now it's our turn to play host and run this tournament, which no doubt is the Super Bowl. This is the Super Bowl golf tournament this is the massive Super Bowl. This is the biggest thing for a lot of our members who are playing in this thing, and it is important to get it right and have a lot of fun. Fortunately, we got great weather on tap, and we've got a big responsibility, fellas, the next 3 days. Nobody has taken it off. Everybody on the team knew that they had to be ready for these 3 days. No golf tournaments, no hockey camps, no nothing. Let's talk about it. What do we need to do to put on the best member guests, and what are you expecting from this tournament?
Well, I think it all starts with the scheduling last week. We got a couple good days off here in prep, rested up. I think that was a good start.
You got to rest your starters.
You got it. Yeah, playoffs.
Going into playoffs, got to rest the starters.
Playoffs, right?
Because they are AFDers. They are all day, right? Mm-hmm. They are all day. 5:30 to 11 at night, 2 straight days, and then a long one on Saturday. All right, so go ahead. What do we got to do? Make plays. What's on your agenda?
Probably a really good breakfast is going to be the start for me. If anyone knows me, I can't play hangry. No. It's not a good scene
You're
for anybody.
Always cooking food.
And I'm upfront with it. I tell Aaron all the time, hey, I need my food. If we don't have it, we're going to have a problem. But how about you? It's your first one.
Yeah, it's my first one at FCC. And I'm excited to see the energy, but it's all in the details. All in the little intrinsic things that bring people and make sure that the members are happy to show off. Obviously, an unbelievable course and in great shape. The weather looks good. Shouldn't have any issues with that. And just have a lot of energy during the weekend.
Yeah, we are going to have a lot of energy. We're going to be on top of it, though. We got a practice round Thursday, and that is the time we do have full discretionary powers. If there is a 10 handicap that shoots 2 under, fellas, we're going to have to step in, right? We're going to have to step in.
Have to.
Fully ready to step in.
Have to.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Zach
Zach
and I will be the villains if needed.
You know what the funny thing?
You don't need
fully
to be
ready
that.
to tell Ryan Bailey to step in.
Yeah, step in. Our other assistant pro, Ryan Bailey, he can't be here.
The real
He's
Ryan
grinding. The real Ryan Bailey, who's blue check mark, right?
We couldn't afford him today.
We couldn't afford Ryan Bailey. He's a blue check mark. He's grinding on Golf Genius right now, poor guy. He's got it dialed. We'll get there. But, the funny thing is, in a practice round or you playing a member guest, no one ever says anything about a plus handicap who shoots 82, right? We're never adjusting to that guy. He just is terrible, or he's a vanity handicap. It's always about adjusting the other way. Why is that?
Maybe that's our focus.
Should it be?
It could be.
We're all over Kane Hansen. He's a plus 2.3, and if he shoots like 80 in the practice round,
bump him up.
That would not go over well.
Have the committee take a look.
I got a great member guest story real quick. Thursday practice rounds, the one that I had played in before, it's a best 2 of 4 net. So it's you and your guest, or you and the member, whoever it may be, and the member can decide, hey, I want to play with these 2 guys, and our team handicap that day, we had to give 2 shots back to the field.
Okay.
So 2 holes, we all were making birdies for pars, and we played flawless golf. We shot 24 under gross, so 22 under net, flawless golf. And we lost by 3 to a 19 handicap who shot 79 and a 17 handicap who shot 77.
Tough
Odds
scene.
of that happening?
Tough
We looked
scene.
it up. 1 in 74,000.
1 in
looked it up.
74,000. Tough break that day.
Permutations, man. They came to bite us that day. But yeah, obviously something to look out for with the dots, but we'll be on top of it. We can be the villains if needed.
You guys are rules officials. I haven't told you this, but one's going to be on the front, one's going to be on the back.
with my own cart.
With your own cart. Yeah, no, very official.
Signs.
Very official
Welcome
with
to the
signs.
show.
Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Well, it's going to be a fun competition, and another thing that we've done at the FCC this year is we've added a scratch game every Friday at 10:30 to about 11. You know what? Anybody can come join us. Obviously members can bring guests, but come to the tee and don't bring your gin. There is no sandbagging in that game. It is the scratch game, and we've had a participant in the scratch game a couple times this summer, Amy Olson, and obviously she's 7 months pregnant, and she came out to the scratch game a couple weeks ago, right up to the back tees, and she tied for the win. Had to go to a playoff. I mean, let's talk about Amy Olson a little bit. She just got done playing the U.S. Open, which is incredible feat at Pebble Beach. I know it was a really emotional experience for her. Everybody around the club and everybody around that follows her is extremely proud of her. Talk about what it's been like to see Amy put the work in, 6-7 months pregnant, qualify for the U.S. Open, play in the scratch game, and then playing in the U.S. Open.
I mean, one thing that we need to mention is that so I played in a group with her, not the week that she was tied for first, but she was hitting 5s and 6 irons when we're hitting 8 and 9 irons.
And hitting them closer.
I still lost. So, and she's losing distance while being pregnant too. So
Incredible. Yeah. What a pro.
To come out there and, I mean, there's great players there. You can go 20, 30 deep with great players, and for her to come out and win from the back tees with 5s and 6 irons in, she couldn't even get to one of the holes.
Yeah.
So that's so impressive to me.
There's always that talk of what handicap, who could compete on the LPGA Tour. Nobody. None of you could. There's no chance. They're so good. I used to play a lot of golf with Angela Stanford, who actually won the U.S. Open a couple of years ago in the COVID year that she's competing with Amy down the stretch. They don't miss a shot. They're at the top of their game. They are the best in the world. And in every single tee shot, every one. And I'm sorry, I'm getting frustrated because it's not the same for us. Like, we'll go offline. Every one is a little draw right down the middle. You don't even have to watch it, and it always sounds the same.
You go sit on the range and watch them. If they miss one 2 yards, that's big.
I'm sure playing hockey, you see guys that make it look easy, right?
Yeah.
They're gliding. It looks like they're not skating fast, and all of a sudden they're by you.
Yeah. No, it is crazy the ability of the top professionals in the world and how easy they make it look. But you talk to any one of them, and it didn't just happen when they were 9 years old. One of the first weeks I was at FCC, I had just finished up a junior lesson, and I drove them back to the clubhouse and was wheeling back out because I forgot a towel on the range, and she was down far into the range hitting with her headphones on, and I just sat there for like 3 minutes, just kind of in the trees. And because I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm watching Amy Olson here, but I'm like,
It was sitting in the trees.
It was kind of an off factor because she did not miss a shot, and the tempo that those ladies in professional golf swing with.
Yeah.
You go on the PGA Tour, you watch some swings, and you're like, whoa, like how does that swing perform those results? They still have the results, but you go and watch professional women's golf, and their swings, their tempo, they're fluid. It's incredible to watch, and something that I love watching women's golf because of that. And obviously props to her and everything she's accomplished this year, and super cool for her.
What a person. We have so many juniors, obviously, but also so many girls out there at the club. And whether it be girls or boys, doesn't matter. But I mean, there's so many, like I have 3 little girls. They can look up to Amy Olson and see what she's done. What an inspiring situation to be able to play the U.S. Open 7 months pregnant. And, probably didn't hit it the way she wanted to. It's a tough golf course. You have to hit your irons perfectly. I mean, they're very small targets. It makes sense that Hoagie won there, being such a great iron player that he is. But obviously so many different things going on, a lot of emotions. Did you follow the Open, and what did you think of the entire experience?
I watched some of it. And the first thing that I noticed in every major, on either the men's side or the women's side, is the importance of hitting fairways. Because when that rough gets long, especially those greens with how firm it was, there's no stopping it. And I believe the winner for the season, I heard this stat, is hitting 85% of her fairways.
That's incredible.
So, I mean, you go look at a tour average, and I think it's just under 60. And, you know, with the difference in swing speeds and spin to be able to land on those greens and stop it, the importance of hitting fairways. And obviously the winner showed off with hitting, 80+% of her fairways. So obviously a super cool experience. And, yeah.
Switching gears here, let's talk about PGA Tour. PGA Tour is on Capitol Hill, and representatives from the PGA Tour, Jimmy Dunn, was up in front of lawmakers today. There is a lot of action in pro golf right now, and there's a lot of scrutiny, and they want to know what's the baseline of this deal. It seemed to me, just listening, that the PGA Tour had to. There was no other way. I mean, they were winning these lawsuits one by one, but the length of the lawsuits, and there was never going to be an end. I mean, you're not going to go up against Saudi Arabia and beat them in litigation. It's just going to go on, and they kept plucking players. And I think initially, from a pro golfer perspective, you had I don't want to do this. Where's the money coming from? And then as soon as one went, and another went, and another went, and they started, making these arguments. Well, this is for my family. This is just, what would you do? And if you were in this position, and people would say, well, every government has bad things that they do. It got to the point where the PGA Tour had to make a play. It wasn't the play they wanted to make, but they made a play while they still had a little bit of they had a little bit of strength in their argument. I mean, they're still going to be in control, but they are scrutinizing it right now. What do you guys think about where it's at right now, and just everything that we heard today? I mean, it seemed like the PGA Tour had no other way out.
Yeah. I mean, I think since day one, when Liv first came out, everyone's like, it will not last.
Right.
No good players are going to go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's Dustin Johnson, Joaquin Niemann, big names. And you get some of the guys on the back end of their careers. The Lee Westwoods, the Ian Poulters probably don't have the complete game anymore to be a factor on the PGA Tour come the weekend. But when DJ went, I think that was the big one and brought over many more quality young players. And I mean, you think about Amito Pereira last year probably hits 3-wood or 2-iron, probably regrets it to this day, but hits 2-iron off that tee box at Southern Hills. And he probably has a major championship, and he's still on the PGA Tour. But the money that they're being offered, that's 12, 13, 14 years of really good years on tour. So
Zach, you're a pro golfer.
Yeah, I'd say one thing to mention too is how exemptions work through the PGA Tour can get kind of complicated and can be unfair in certain people's opinions sometimes, which is also something to think about. People have asked me if it was me, what would I do? And trophies mean more to me than money, as long as I can pay what I need to pay for. But if people want to have a private jet for their family, so be it. Like, that's what they want,
or yachts,
or whatever. Yeah, if they want to do that, and like Andy said too, somewhere on the tail end of their career, it makes a lot of sense because they don't know, they may not win again. So
what do you think is going to happen now? It's a framework agreement. It's obviously, like I mentioned, it's getting scrutinized. The PGA Tour would still be controlling, but the Saudi Arabia, they would get what they wanted the whole time. They have a big hand in a widely known worldwide professional sport. Reasons maybe what they are, but I do understand that the United States government is very interested in this deal and how it came together. I know one of the questions was, did you explore all other options for financing? Because I think the last thing the United States government would want with the Saudi Arabia to have such a close tie into a very popular United States professional sport. It's what do you do you think that do you think that there's going to be backlash from PGA Tour fans given the fact that there's going to be that much of an investment from Saudi Arabia? Do you think the fans care? The fans are the eyeballs. That's what draws people. That's what draws funds. Do you think the fans will care?
I think there will be. You look at the Senate hearing today, and it was an open hearing. Media is there, everything's like that, and there were multiple family members of a 9/11 attack that were wearing stand up for 9/11, and I think it gets extremely more sensitive. When that happens, because for a lot of people in this country, that the game it's bigger than the game of golf, right? Now. And that's why I think the Senate's being incorporated, and it's a touchy topic.
Golf is in a great spot. I mean, clubs are full, equipment sales, consumable sales, everything. Golf is in a great spot. People love the game. That's one thing that came out of COVID. But pro golf itself is in turmoil. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a resurgence of care into the ladies' game, a resurgence in care into amateur golf, a resurgence in care into junior golf, away from the professional game, away from those guys they're making so much money, and it's messy right now, right? It's messy. It's tough to say, you know what, I support this, I support that. It's just a weird deal, and it's messy. Do you think there's going to be a resurgence in golf in focus in the other levels of golf that aren't tied to this situation?
I think there's a big one right now on the women's side. The sponsors. I don't know if you guys watch much of the coverage, but it was so nice not to have to go to commercial every 3 golf shots. And I think they're really trying to put a big foot forward towards women's golf.
$11 million purse.
Yep.
$2 million for the winner.
$2 million for the winner. That was more than what the winner at the John Deere.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
interesting.
That's awesome.
And the sites that they're going to the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, historic U.S. Open sites. We got one coming up in 2027. I think it's coming just down to the Twin Cities at Interlaken. So for all the Midwest golfers, young people who want to go watch some good golf, that's a cool opportunity.
Interlaken's going to be getting some calls from other clubs.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so what's up next for you guys? Let's outline the next 5-6 months through the end of the year. You got a lot of things coming up with your careers, a lot of exciting things. I mean, we could be sitting here 6 months from now, you'd be a completely different position than you are right now. You'd be signed by an NHL team and on the ice. You could be potentially on the PGA Live or whatever they decide to call it. You could be on the tour, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you have coming up to lead up to these runs?
I'd say I'm a little more active than Andy is right now. But for me, next week, next Wednesday, I have 3M pre-qualifying.
Okay, down the cities?
Down in Minneapolis there.
So explain that. You have to go through the pre-qualifier.
Yep, so pre-qualifying. For this one specifically, the Monday's not as loaded up, so you're going to take more spots from pre-qualifying.
So on a pre-qualifier to get into 3M, if you don't have any status, you have to go to a pre-qualifier. Mm-hmm. How many guys get to the Monday?
The last few years, it's been 60 guys for roughly 18, 20 spots.
Okay, into the Monday.
To get into the Monday, which then you're playing against guys who are flying there who missed the cut at the last Corn Ferry event, some guys who have partial PGA Tour status or for whatever reason they're not in the event.
Yeah.
And you're playing against high-end players for about probably roughly, let's say 60 guys for, depending on who shows up and all that other stuff, but 60 guys for 3 spots. 60 guys for 3 spots on a Monday. So you have to pre-qualify it, then the Monday 60 for 3. At the end of the day, it's a score. You got to shoot a score. Yep.
5, 6, 7 under, something like that.
A lot of putts need to go in.
A lot of putts. So you have the 3M qualifier. And
yep. So we'll go Wednesday pre-qualifier, then we're going to Aberdeen for Dakota's Tour event, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then ideally go back to Minneapolis for the Monday. And then from there we got
some Dakota's Tours.
Yeah, a couple Dakota's Tour events leading into Q School. My first round of Q School is going to be in middle to end of September in Ohio.
And for those who aren't up to speed with professional golf, Q School is not a classroom where you sit down and you go to school. It is a series of tournaments where it's survive and advance. And so the pre-qualifier will be roughly 70 players and maybe 22 advance. And then you go to a first stage, got to do the same thing, then a second stage, same thing, and then you get to final stage. And if you get to final stage, you have some status on the tour next year. But it's a gauntlet. It's 3 months of...
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy, right?
No.
It ain't easy. So best of luck to you. I know you're grinding all the time, playing a bunch of golf, and we're thrilled to have you at the FCC, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate being there.
AC, what's up with you?
Obviously in the process right now of figuring out where I'm going to be next year. And it's a process that's not always easy. The draft just happened, so there's some teams that are kind of figuring out what they're looking for. But I tried and pride myself on, bringing some stuff to the table, offensive power play defenseman. But going to be on the bag for Mr. Sklebar on Wednesday, the pre-qualifier. So if there's one thing that Zach knows I can kind of do, it's putt.
Really good putter. I actually caddied for him a couple weeks back in an amateur event.
Okay.
And
so
he hits it further than I do by a lot, but
you can read greens.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty good green reader. Didn't used to be a good putter. Put some work in. One of my good buddies from my hometown, he's a Division I golfer, and kind of worked with me for probably about 3 months and just simplifying things, treating everything like a straight putt, and it just breaks a little bit. And keep training. I'll probably roll out of here middle of September to head to development camp, or main camp, I guess you could call it.
For Vancouver.
So currently a free agent.
Okay.
So signed a 1-year contract with the Canucks. So kind of figuring out where the waters are right now, and hopefully find a spot that not only fits me, but I fit them.
But the thing is, when you get the call and you leave mid-September, you got to be ready to go.
Yep.
I mean, you got to be tip-top, ready to go.
So that's a different thing about pro hockey versus college hockey, right? So you go into when you arrive at campus, it's late August usually when school's starting up at Mankato. So we're there August 24th, and your first game is not till October 1st.
Yeah.
So there's no step in, have a 2-week training camp, and boom, the season starts.
Right.
You have a long period of time where you can get your feet wet, build some confidence back, do that kind of stuff. But pro hockey is completely different. So it's, summers are always important when it comes to training, but going into play a full pro schedule is obviously even more important, because from that, whatever, September 15th, September 20th, whatever it may be, you got to be ready to go.
But you're dropping into other professionals that have been working out all summer, and they're scratching and clawing. I mean, it's a career, right? You're trying to earn a living.
Yep.
And it just shows you how competitive you guys are at the top of your games, and how competitive it is to play professional sport for a living. And it's insane. It's an insane idea. But you know what? When you guys are in your mid-20s, this is your time to do it. I was the same way. I mean, you got to chase it, right?
Got to chase it.
Go all in, and you'll never have any regrets. I promise you. Kind of want to do it again too. No. Anyway, you guys are fun to be around. A lot of great energy, and it's going to be a fun member guest this weekend. It's going to be a fun rest of the summer. And myself, all of us at FCC, everybody watching this podcast, we wish you the best of luck. Your professional golf, your professional hockey journey, and we'll have to have you back on and give updates maybe 6 months from now. See where you're at. You're probably going to be on the phone, and you're going to be on the phone. You're going to be somewhere warm. You're going to be somewhere cold. You're going to be in a rink somewhere.
Hey, there's a team in Arizona.
That'd be a good place to play, wouldn't it? Play a little golf on the outside. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
You got it. And thank you for being here. It was great to have you along. Fun to visit with Zach Sklebar and Andy Carroll, talk a little bit about member guest, PGA Junior League, Amy Olson, PGA Tour in front of lawmakers. And next week, we're going to have more fun golf content for you. Thanks for being with us, folks.